Hi everyone. I wanted to come on here and talk about something really cool. The whole notion behind Coalesce, which is the concept that I teach my clients um, who are spiritually and creative based entrepreneurs who are having a hard time pulling their vision forward and are having a hard time expressing into words what it is that they do, how to market it, where to even start packaging it, and how to make it attractive to another person and create objectionless sales. So, the whole concept that I wanted to talk to you about is business proposals for spiritually based services. If you are popping on, please say hello because I can't see who it is. It just says that there's somebody on here. And so, for most spiritual entrepreneurs, you don't function that way, and especially being in the transformative arts business, like nobody has ever really like taught you this. You have perhaps learned a modality, whether it be Reiki, whether it be tarot card reading, whether it's healing modality, and you perhaps are selling it hourly, right? And are not making the kind of money that you want to be making instead of creating a business proposal for your ideal client. And this is what I mean by this. Let me pull up a basic Google definition just before you guys get scared because a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs are like, business proposal, are you freaking kidding me? This is what a business proposal does whenever you create one for a client, any agency, marketing agency, consulting agency, and you should not be any different as a spiritual entrepreneurial agency that is you. Um, you should consider this. So, what does the business proposal entail? Relating to your client by describing their situation. Explain how you're going to solve their problem. Detail the cost and the time involved, and finish confidently to make the sale. I know that sounds like, are you serious? I wish I could do that, especially for my energy healing service. Like, who needs this? Why would somebody buy this? But I'm going to break this down for you one by one. So, check this out. Relating to your new client by describing their situation. If you are charging hourly or spiritually based service, you probably are not very much in tune with what it is that your client needs or wants. Your client perhaps is not in your scope, and you're not even aware that somebody could pay you for all of your gifts and services because you yourself are not clear on your gifts and services of what it is that you want to offer, and you're not clear on the specific problem that this individual is having that you can actually come in and solve. And this takes a process of market research, and you probably do that already by speaking with people, especially if you're intuitive, spiritual individual, you probably already do this. So, explaining how you're going to solve this problem. What this entails is creation of an offer in process. And if you don't know how to do that, this is essential, you guys. This is creating pretty much a compilation of your gifts, of saying, like, this is what I see in you, these are my gifts, and this is what I can offer you. By detailing it then one by one with the cost and the time involved, you can then finish confidently and make the sale. And this is exactly what's been happening to me, and so far one of my clients too. Um, this is exactly what happens is whenever you start taking this approach to your spiritually based service. The problem here is most spiritual entrepreneurs do not know the exact tangible outcome of their service because they're not clear on like what exactly that thing is. Yes, you might be calling your modality by name, like, oh, I do an energy clearing. Oh, I do meditation. But like, what does that mean for your client? Because when you start to put a tangible on it, it starts to be worth more to them because it solves their actual tangible problems. So, for example, a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs say, it allows me to be, or my service allows a person to be more connected to the body. To somebody who's not like in the scope, why does that matter? Why would somebody want to be more connected to the body? Like, whenever you start creating the demand for your service is when you start speaking tangibles. So, for instance, the benefits of being connected to the body, you start to get more intuitive messages about what you should or should not eat. about what actions to take on business investments, about, who to date or not, or about just what kind of actions to take in your daily life. So for somebody who's like really frantic and anxious, and if you start speaking to them that way, because to them, whenever you say be more connected to the body, they're so anxious and they're so in their head, you're going to lose them halfway through the conversation. But when you approach them from that language and say, hey, so you're really frantic and you're really anxious, and here is my proposed solution for you. We're going to take you through this process. We're going to begin with a meditation, and here's why, and here's what it's going to do for you. It's going to calm your energy. It's going to slow your roll so you can actually be right here, right now, and alleviate some of the like crazy symptoms. You will see that you're the one creating them. Then we're going to go through whatever it is that you go through. Let's just say, some sort of facilitation to bring more awareness of where the tightness in their body is. So then you say, like, then we start to dispel the stories around what it is that's causing you anxious. Once you start looking at the stories, then you will no longer be so powerless to this anxiety. And then at the end of the process, you'll be able to come out of this whole anxiety thing and a lot more of an empowered individual. Do you see how taking this approach to somebody who's frantic and anxious is so much more effective than just by simply telling them, oh, my service is just going to make you more connected to the body? It's going to make them, like, whatever, run the other way because they don't see the value of it. Whenever you start to take this approach of almost creating a business proposal for what it is that you do, breaking it down step by step for this person in front of you, it creates a whole different conversation. It allows the prospect in front of you to be understood, and B, it allows you to make more effortless sales because they'll be like, oh my God, yes, this sounds amazing, sign me up, I've tried everything, and yeah, totally, here's my money, I want to get rid of this anxiety no matter what it takes, and you just given me a solution to my problem. Boom. Whenever you start to create this kind of business proposal approach to your business, whatever kind of business you have, creative business, spiritual business, but particularly spiritual people is who I'm talking to, your sales become a lot more fun. You create a deeper connection with your client. You create a deeper understanding, and most importantly, you create a higher value for your service because you see the value of the work that you actually do. So I encourage you to take this approach in everything that you do in your spiritual based business. And if you're like not clear about where to even start because your service is so multidimensional and is super out there and is super creative, I have help for that, you guys. And this is exactly my zone of genius, is translating it into simple words for you. I'm going to put down the link to apply to my Coalesce program that literally walks you through this process. It's quick and painless, and it takes 6 weeks or less before you can start commanding sales like that. So I encourage you to take a look at the business proposal approach of marketing your spiritual service. If you are just popping on, go ahead and watch the replay or say replay in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to PM me or post them here. And I am headed to the beach, and I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.